And welcome back to another installment of Big Al Speaks, not the Big Al podcast. We changed the name.
Why you had to call me out? Why?
I didn't tell you before.
It's
My
okay.
bad. But thank you for tuning in to another episode. I know it's been a couple months, but we're back on the grind. I have a very, very, very special guest in the building with me today. I've known her since I was just since a child. You know, we kind of fell off and we kind of came back because I came back to the church. So we reconnected back, had some good conversations, said we need to put this in the airways. We need people to hear this.
People need to see this. People need to see what we got to talk about. You already speak. I speak a little bit. So I'm like, let's just go ahead and combine the two.
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting today the beautiful Miss Kourtney Lots.
Thank you. Stop. Hello, everyone. My name is Kourtney Lots, as he said, also known as KoKo. So Kourtney or KoKo, either one. Is this like my little intro? Do I like talk a little bit about myself or no? Not really. Not yet.
You could do whatever you want.
Not yet. I'm gonna wait a little bit. I mean, it ain't like he said, we didn't know each other. I am getting back into the YouTube scene. This is my first time doing an actual podcast. So I'm really excited about that. This is my first time where I'm like combining the two. And I've been wanting to do the podcast scene. So I'm excited getting back into it. I haven't done anything for like 2 years now. The last time I recorded a YouTube video, actually, it was last year, but I deleted everything. If you go to my YouTube now, it's nothing on there. So,
oh no, you got to keep the stuff up.
Nope, I deleted.
You got to keep it up for the people.
I hid it. You can't see anything.
I feel that. I got some videos hidden because when I was in high school, I was in a video class, so we had to do a bunch of projects. I hid a lot of those. There's like a music video in there.
Oh yeah.
It's just different stuff on there I had to hit. I'm like, no. But I want to keep it though, because like if I'm explaining, I used to do video stuff in high school and people are like, no, you didn't. Like, yes, I did. Look at the date. Look at this.
It's on there. Everything is just private. So people can't see it. But I love the fact that I can just go on there and look at it if I wanted to. It's rare that I'm like, let me go and see what I was talking about or doing. Because mine was mostly like, I wouldn't say there were vlogs, but I was actually, since it wasn't podcast style, I just had a topic that I would sit down and like, let me talk about this. Like, or I would ask people like, what's something that you all want me to talk about? So like kind of like a Q&A. It just depends. It was all random stuff. It had no basis to it.
See, the podcast before podcast. You didn't really know at the time, but.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
Well, I want to thank you first off for joining me today. You're my first in-person guest. That's one. Second, you're my first female guest. I've been wanting a female guest on here for the longest time because I think we need another perspective as men. You can't always just listen to other men. I think that's the problem nowadays with people. I'm not trying to call you out, but like Andrew Tate and like people like that who have those type of podcasts. Yeah. You don't have another perspective. You need another female perspective.
Yeah. And those that's actually willing to listen. Like some people put women on their podcast, and when I listen to them, I'm like, you're not even listening to what they have to say for real. Like,
or like, you watch The Breakfast Club?
Kinda, it depends.
But like, whenever I watch The Breakfast Club, they put Angela down. Like, she barely say anything.
Yeah.
She be in the, first off, her chair is like over here. They really just be putting it on Charlamagne and whoever's the guest, and they'll put it on, and they'll put it on Envy sometimes. But yeah, they don't put it on her at all. She barely say anything, and then the things she do say, it's not like contributing to the conversation. Contributing to the conversation at all. It's just random. It's weird. And Charlamagne's weird, but like at least it moves it forward to whatever's going on. But anyways,
that's why I don't watch them. Not for real. I watch hers more than I watch The Breakfast Club. I actually watch Angela lip service, whatever it is. And of course, because she don't talk on The Breakfast Club, she's on there talking so much. That's on, but she gets the tea though. She know, because that's what lip service is about, actually getting the tea. So she be getting there. I'll be listening sometimes. That's the only time she be saying what she got to say.
All right. Well, how are you doing?
I mean, I'm good. I'm excited. Like, this is really exciting to be able to do something I've been doing for a minute. I fell off. Everybody's around me like, you need to get back into YouTube. And everybody's doing podcasts, I say, more now that it's the end of 2022. You looking up and everybody's doing podcasting. But I've been wanting to do podcasting for years before it became popular. So it's like, now that it's popular, I'm like, for a second I was like, I'm gonna sit back. I don't know if I want to do that. So like, I'm excited. Other than doing this, I'm just on the day-to-day being a mom and just trying to see what's next for real. That's really it. I'm like not really doing anything too much than just taking it day by day, if I'm being honest. I say that all the time. Taking it day by day. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm kind of in the space where like I have a lot of options in front of me, but I don't really know what's the best thing for me to do.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm with you too. I feel like podcasting really got popular this year.
Man.
And now the market is like super oversaturated now. So then I kind of took a break. Well, because of life stuff. And then like just in general, I'm like, well, how do I break the mold of this oversaturated content? What do I have to say that's gonna be more than what like Joe Budden has to say, or like other popular podcasters? So I kind of was like, I don't want to do it, but I do miss just making stuff because that's just the creativity in us. We always have to make something, do something. And I just kept getting tired of just me talking all the time. I want to talk to an actual person. Yeah. And it was cool doing the Zoom calls with the fellas, if y'all watching or not. But I needed an in-person conversation because plus I've been watching a lot of those podcasts who have another co-star with them. And I'm like, I need something. I got to have something. So yeah, for the most part, pretty good. So what were you doing on YouTube? Just vlogging and talking? What was your content about?
So my content, let's take it all the way back. When I first was like, I want to do YouTube, I think this is something that I want to do. Everybody was like, you should record your natural hairstyle. So in high school, I always would wear my hair natural and I would do it myself.
Let me stop. What year is this?
You taking it to the years now. Hold on, wait, let me do my math.
You're not that old. It's okay.
I know I'm not, but I would say like what, 2015, 2016.
Okay.
That's when I actually made a YouTube channel. Did I record anything? No. But people was always like, oh my gosh, you did your hair yourself? I'm like, yeah, I did. And it was like, you should record that, like, because I want to know how to do that. So I always said I was going to record myself doing my hair for people, and I never did. I think I might have recorded one time. The first time I actually recorded a video was 2018. So summer 2018. I think my first video was like a get to know me video, and that was in 2018. So that was like my first video. And then after that, I would record, like, I think I recorded myself. No, I didn't even record myself cutting my hair off, but that was when I did like the big chop 2018. Mm-hmm. So it kind of turned into me talking about my hair on the page, but it was about my life. That's why I'm like, it didn't have any real substance, I would say, to it. It was like, I'm talking about my hair here, then I'm doing a vlog here, and then I'm doing, it was random, honestly. And it's been random since 2018. Like 2018 was random, 2019 random, 2020, that's when I started recording because I had my baby, and people was like, they wanted to know different things like breastfeeding tips and like stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it kind of turned into a mommy channel, I would say, or like mom and baby type of channel in 2020. And I didn't want that to be the basis of my YouTube. So that's when I fell off real by like 2021, because I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Like, I didn't feel like I had anything to talk about or do or record. Like, people wanted me to basically, in my head, record like my day-to-day in my life. And I'm like, I don't really want to do that. So I just fell off.
Okay. That was a lot there.
That's why I'm like, it's been all over the place. So I'm like, that's why I was into podcasting though, because I'm like, I can actually do topics versus feeling like I always have to record the things that I have going on. Like I feel like people do that, but I didn't want to be that person. Like I don't want people to have specifically insight on my day-to-day routines. Like I know people who do that, but I just personally was like, I'd rather talk about something.
Okay, I feel that because I feel like that would get really exhausting every now and then. Like I see on TikTok all the time, those like day to day, come with me while I'm doing this. I'm like, that's so exhausting because I just know doing video for a while, I'm like, you had to stop, set up your tripod here, fake like you walked in through the door, fake like you just woke up. Literally. That's doing a lot.
Yeah.
But they get paid so much from it. Maybe not from TikTok as much. They still get paid, but like
they get paid a good amount for sure.
But like YouTube, it's crazy. Just from doing my day to day, that's not really what they doing. Or like the products they have in there or the clothing they wear. Like that's not really what they wear, what they do. It's all fake. Yeah. Charlatan.
That's why phony. I'm like, I couldn't do that because to me, it's so many people doing that too where I'm like, I want to stand out. Like I want to do something different. Like, and I did do it one time. It was something, I think I did it maybe twice. It was something that I started doing because my YouTube is called Vibing with KoKo. Okay. So I started doing something called
link in the description.
It will be there. I mean, you can subscribe. I have like
nothing
on there and a couple subscribers. So you all go ahead and subscribe so you can be updated when I do drop my first video. But one of the things I started was called vibe checks. So it was like, I want to check out your vibe. You know, you can check out mine, see where we at. And then that's when I started doing, I would say, topics.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what got you interested in podcasting. Mm-hmm. Okay. What was I going to ask? I already forgot.
I'm sorry.
No, but no, it's okay. No, I know what I was going to say. Well, I feel like there's not a lot of representation people that look like us, our skin color. So I feel like you could have done something to break the mold like that on YouTube, like especially with the natural hair, because a lot of women out there don't really rock their natural hair, and you could be the one to be like, hey, it's okay to wear your short hair like this. It's okay. You don't have to always go and get weaves or sew-ins or anything like that. Yeah. You could have been like that, but I understand. This is just me thinking out loud.
That's why I'm like, it's definitely like how you don't know until you know, like how they'll be like, oh, when you get a certain car, and then you look up and everybody got that car. You didn't notice people had that car until you got the car.
It's the truth.
So I'm like, it's actually a lot of people out there, surprisingly, at that time that did natural hair. Like a couple years ago, people were still wearing a natural hair a lot. And everybody was doing big chops then too. So everybody was cutting their hair off and everything. So now if I was to do it, I feel as though it's not that many people doing it now. So I might have to throw that in there because I've been growing out my hair and I cut my hair off like a couple months ago and I've been keeping it in hiding. I might do that probably next year. We'll see. I'm like, when it get warm outside, when I'm really feeling like wearing my hair out. That's the only reason why I haven't been wearing my hair, because I'm like, it's too cold. And most of the time it's wet by the time I do it. So I'm like, let me just go ahead and cover it up with it being cold outside.
All right. How's your baby going?
She's good. She's learning and growing. She's in her terrific twos. That's what I like to call them. I don't like to call them terrible twos, but you get the hint. It's terrific. It's great. It's amazing. No, but every day she's doing something new. And I'm like, when did you learn that? Where did you get that from? So that's what I love about it. It's like a year ago, I was excited, with the walking and this, that, and the other. But now I'm like, what did you just say? Like kids, especially at this age, with them learning but not really knowing what they're saying for real, is so funny. Like I tell her to sit down and I look up and a couple hours later, we're just chilling and she's like, sit down. And I'm like, did you just tell me to sit down? And she was like, sit down. So it's just crazy interesting at this age. I really love it. But, you know, still comes with the temper tantrums and stuff where I'm like, okay, this right here. But you just learn to manage it. Like, I've been learning more and more to have patience because she's going to do it naturally.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So do you think motherhood has changed you for the better in a way?
Yes, I feel as though it has taught me a lot about myself. The biggest thing was patience. Like a lot of people say, "Oh, you need patience," even just when it comes to getting to your goals and this, that, and the other. So, overall, it taught me to not only have patience with her, but to have patience with myself. Because it's like nothing can prepare you for when your child actually gets here, and then when they get here, they go through so many different stages where I'm like, I have to be patient with myself to know that I'm learning and adapting to every stage. And every time I look up, I didn't learn one stage, but that stage is now gone and it's something else coming along. So I'm like, dang, now I have to learn and adapt to this new thing. So it's just that I would say patience is the biggest thing that motherhood has taught me, in addition to many other things. But patience, that right there, I'm like, I'd still beat myself up today. Like when something would happen, and I'm like, dang, like I reacted a certain way, but I'm like, if I'm being honest, I'm reacting way better than I was a year ago when certain little things happen. So it's one of those things where you have to definitely give yourself grace with that patience. It's like even when something happened and you say, okay, I probably wasn't as patient as I should have been. I'm like, I still have to give myself grace. Like, it's okay, and don't beat myself up over it.
And I think people beat themselves up about it all the time because, like, it's their first time. This is your first time.
Yeah.
You have to give yourself a little room of error. Like, okay, I messed up. I might not have known that. I know this for next time. For my next child, I know how to do this better.
Mm-hmm.
So, question I would say, do you think that if you had KoKo later on in life, do you think you would have more prepared because you're a little more mature? Or do you think, or here's a real question I want to ask. Do you think like having kids young, does that really mature you better?
Oh, definitely.
Like you mature faster?
Yeah. I definitely matured way faster. I remember seeing something. It was like, if you have a child, just add 5 years on to whatever your age is, because at that point, that's what it feels like. Even as far as, I remember a lot of people when I used to watch new mommyhood videos when I was pregnant, they used to be like, you're going to lose friends. And I didn't lose friends per se, but I lost the ways I interacted with my friends. Like I couldn't interact with them the same way because they would like still want to get up and go, whether it's like out and party or whatever, because that is what my group of friends like we would do. And it's just like, all right, y'all have fun because y'all just made up these plans 2 hours ago. I can't find a babysitter in 2 hours. So it's like certain stuff like that taught me, that I had to mature quicker because of course I was still in the stage where, especially just, I wouldn't say getting out of college. I took a break from college, which that's, slightly a conversation in itself. But
I got that too.
yeah, that's why I'm like, I took a break from school. And of course, at that time, we was just getting out of COVID by the time I had her. I had her in September of 2020. So we're still in COVID, of course, but we were getting lifted from like a lot of those mandates. So like people started to get right back into wanting to go to the club. And I was just like, if I could, I could, but it was just different. I just couldn't move the same. So I wouldn't say having her any later would have been like different, or I would have been more prepared. Because again, I don't think nothing really prepares you. But I will say that having her at the time that I did taught me a lot of things where I'm like, I probably wouldn't have learned that as soon as I did. And I'm glad that I did learn it as soon as I did, because honestly, I wouldn't have cared to learn it later. I'm like, I'm glad that I learned this sooner than later.
So then you would also agree, I hear a lot of times they say, like, when you have a kid, 18 years of your life is just on hold. Do you agree with that statement, that you can you still live your life, like still want to accomplish your goals, and like, let's say you want to go back to school and go get your degree and go get your dream job and like get your dream house. Can you still do those things while still having a child?
Yeah, definitely. I feel as though that's where your village comes in and your support system. In my case, being a single mother, for those who don't know who's watching, like it's different because, of course, when you're in a relationship, you can kind of like depend on your spouse. So in my case, I feel as though having my village, that's really helpful to not feel as though my life is completely put on hold, because like different people around me, I would say, like, even my mom, she's like, being the fact that I was raised by a single mom, she'll be like, okay, I see that you kind of need a break. And she'll know that it's something going on. And I didn't even ask her to do it. But she's like, I'll watch Kourtney so you can go and do this if you want to. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I'm always like, are you sure? Because I don't want to feel like I'm taken away from other people, like, life, basically. So I don't ask often to do stuff. That's just me. Some people might ask their people so they can go and hang out, but I don't feel as though it was completely put on hold, because I still have opportunities to like go and enjoy like being young, I would say, when it comes to like just having those moments where I can just go and hang out with my friends. But also when it comes to school, I feel as though it has to be one of them things where you actually want to do it. So I don't think having a baby can hold you up unless your mindset is like you're telling yourself or people around you, because I'm not saying that it can't be people around you that's telling you like you can't do it because you have a baby. You need to focus on your baby. Like, I hate, when I hear stories like that of people putting people down and telling them like you need to just focus on work and stuff. Like, it's ways to maneuver and still be able to go to school and work. And most people think like, oh, everything is just going to the baby, but you still got to make sure that you're just handling your finances the right way, so you can get that dream car, that dream house, the stuff that you want. It might not come when you want it, especially in today's times when everybody is like getting stuff you see now earlier than, like, let's say 10 years ago. It took like millennials into their 30s to get that dream house, dream car. And now our generation, like Gen Z, we're getting these things like early 20s. So it's different, because like you would think like, oh, I got time. But like if I look at everybody else around me, it's just like, oh, dang, I'm behind.
I feel that all the time. I was just last night, I went to go pick up some pizza, and I saw a dude I went to high school with. I known him since sixth grade. I saw his ring on his hand. I'm like, man, my man's is married.
Oh, yeah.
I see it all the time in my timeline. People get married. People have kids. I be thinking like, man, am I really just, am I slow? What's going on? I'm not, am I not progressing at the same speed? But then I always got to remind myself, life don't just move in a straight line. Some people, it can just be like, go to school, get married, house, kids, all that. But some people, it could be like, you don't go to school and you get blessed with like an opportunity, your dream job or whatever. And it's always just like, life don't go in the straight path. It's always something different. But then that's why I think it's like we don't need to be on social media all the time, seeing other people's life all the time.
I hate it. Definitely hate it.
It's like a love-hate thing. I feel like if I wasn't doing stuff like this, I wouldn't be on there.
Yeah.
Like, as a kid, when I first got on Facebook, I didn't really understand that. Like, I understand the whole finding your friends thing, because it's like I see y'all every day. I go to school with y'all every day. I don't see the point.
I don't need to find y'all.
But like I see for older people, and we're the first young generation who really got to go with Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. So we're still figuring it out. But like, I just
How early did you get on Facebook?
I was like 13.
See,
like I think that's too early. and like my mind right now, I'm like, I kind of wish I never did that. Yeah. I kind of wish I never signed up for any of them. But like I said, I would have eventually because I like doing stuff like this, and you need a platform to share these things with.
Definitely. Like
TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Those are the biggest things to share these things, especially like Reels and stuff.
Yeah, Reels. Ooh, that is the new thing. It took me a minute to really be like, okay, let me stop posting regularly. Like, let me use Reels because that's what everybody uses now.
But I don't like that because it's like y'all just stole this from TikTok, especially Instagram. Yeah. I hate how Instagram is now. I hate that like you're biting off of this app. And like I remember when Twitter had story, when I was on Twitter, I'm not on Twitter no more, but Twitter has stories like Instagram, but Instagram got that from Snapchat.
Exactly. I don't that's what I was about to say.
I don't like that. When we go into the social media world, like I said, I wouldn't want to do it if I wasn't doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
I'd rather just come see you or call you.
Yeah. No, that's definitely better.
I don't mean to cut you out, but like I don't even talk to nobody.
Yeah.
I don't talk to anybody I went to school with. Like they'll interact with my posts sometimes, but like
that's it.
They're not, yo, what's up, Al? What we doing? No, I don't get that no more. Yeah. I don't think I got that because I graduated almost 5 years ago.
What year did you graduate?
2018.
Okay. Yeah, I graduated 2017. That's like almost 5 years ago. I thought I graduated 5 years ago.
You're about to be 6.
It is. It's about to be 6 in June. Okay. That makes sense now. I have to do the math. It still feel like it's only been like 4 or 5 years.
It don't even feel, it feels like yesterday.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, it don't even feel like it's about to be almost 6.
Like I feel like once you turn 18, like it just, 19 didn't feel any different from 18. 20 didn't feel any different. I guess maybe because like you're out of your teens.
Yeah. No, I didn't feel different until I hit 21. And I was able to drink.
Oh.
You know, it ain't nothing wrong with a little drinky drink. Even though I couldn't do nothing for real. As soon as I turned 21, that's when I found out I was pregnant.
Dang.
So I couldn't do nothing.
Dang.
I was excited because I'm in my head like, I'm about to turn 21. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. I was drinking before because I have one of my friends' IDs. So, you know,
okay.
I
see, I didn't
see you right now.
A lot of like some of these questions, I didn't know if like, oh, can we be that personable? Cause
that's why I'm like, let me be honest.
Because we know some people that might be like, oh, you were what? Doing what? But I mean, it's my platform.
Yeah, you can talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Well, on that note, we are going to pause for a moment. We'll be right back. And we are back in the studio with Miss Kourtney Lots.
We're back.
So, segueing here a little bit, I want to talk about, this is something I've always wanted to ask. I was going to ask Taylor this too. A couple other people I was going to do more interviews at the church. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about listening to secular music, but we're still saved?
See,
this up a little bit.
That's hard. I get the question, but I feel as though
now here's the thing. I don't want to cut you off, but like, what do? Go ahead. But what do we really call secular? Like, what is really explicit?
And that's what I was about to say. I'm like, do you, as far as like, I remember hearing something and it was like, don't fake the funk. Like, if you on a regular jamming to whatever you jamming to, of course, be respectful. So, like, if the pastor or the bishop get in the car, you feel me? Don't be playing nothing where it's cussing people and killing people. You feel me? But at the end of the day, if that's you, be you. But again, I feel like it's still a time and a place. So I'm not judging you about what you listen to in your personal time. I personally don't listen to it as much anymore because of various reasons. And like you said, it depends on what's your level of like explicit. So let me be specific on my end and what I can say for myself. I used to listen to a lot of, I would say more so like R&B, and it's like I don't want to listen to that anymore, because then like that stuff like gets put in your mind, like how I'll hear different things that's like, the reason why all these shootings and killings is going on is because of all of this rap music and stuff, and we can't just blame rap music, you know. But
and then it's like there's different tiers of rap music.
yeah,
because like me personally, I don't listen to that type of rap music.
right.
I listen to like the J. Cole's and the Kendricks.
I like J. Cole.
And I don't feel like it's bad to me, even though being saved. Because a lot of the times, right, even though like J. Cole isn't saved, he's not talking about like he's still talking about good topics.
And he talks about God, so you never know, he might be.
You never know. I know Kendrick is for sure.
Yeah.
We know that. But like I that's how I feel. I'm like, I feel like if it's not glorifying like killing and those type of topics, I don't think it's necessarily wrong.
Yeah.
Granted, I know cursing isn't the thing to do.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's like a thin line for me, maybe for you as well. It's like a thin line with that for me.
Yeah.
I always try to be mindful like what artists I'm listening to.
Yeah, I feel like it's definitely one of those things where, again, be you, but you'll get to a certain point. I feel like people will naturally get to a certain point where certain stuff, it's like a certain line. Like, I don't really want to listen to this. Like, it's certain songs where I was just like, I don't want to listen to this, because let's say for me with the different like topics with R&B, I don't want to listen to this because I don't want to be like singing songs like this where this is not even how I'm trying to move anymore as a woman of God. Like, I don't want to move this way, so why would I have to be sitting here jamming to it? Like, heartbreaks and songs like that's different, but like certain songs, I'm like, dang, that used to be my song, but like now I can't listen to it the same, because I'm thinking to myself like, I'm just singing it just to be singing it, and it's just like I don't even want to get that in my spirit, because I'm done. Whether it's like, just example, I'm not saying I was the side chick, but like if it's a song about being, the side chick, you feel me? Like, and it's like they singing that in the R&B songs. Like, I'm like, no, can't even jam to that anymore. So that's how it is. I feel like people will start drifting away from different stuff depending on how close, or not they are getting with their relationship with Christ.
I feel like in a way it's damaging, not just in a spiritual sense, but like in just a physical sense. Singing about songs that you're the side chick, and that's why we have so many just broken families in the world, or talking about killing people, and we have so many gangs and broken families in the world.
Yeah.
It's hard, but then that's like the most popular topics.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I'm like, I personally, I don't even have to say names and people will know. It's just like I stopped listening to certain songs because I personally, I don't even do like these actions that y'all are singing in these songs. And it's just like, it's women out here that are doing that, but it's just like, that's not me. And the women that are doing that, I really wish that y'all thought more highly of yourselves. But at the same time, that's the generation that we're in now, where people feel as though, especially women, that you gotta like show something for people, specifically men, to like look at you. Like, you gotta show all of this and act a certain way for me. Like, men actually are kind of more so caring more about like what's actually in your mind than you think. But because of the fact so many people putting out there like a certain type of image, I feel as though, even like you said with the broken families, a lot of men are starting to like not even care. Like, deep down inside they do, but they're accepting what they're getting. So that plays a part in it for sure, when it comes to like, not even, before you can even get to the broken families, why is there so many unhealthy like ideas of how men and women are portraying themselves when it comes to before you can even get to like a relationship part, like the talking stage, the dating stage, like all of that is terrible to me. That's me. It's terrible to me.
So I disagree with the men that are looking more to the mind, because that's not, no. I worked at a restaurant. They're not thinking that at all. They're not. It's like a small percentage that's really out here really wanting to build families.
Yeah,
It's a lot of people trying to break families up.
I mean, but that's why I'm like, I feel like, okay, so let me be specific. It depends too on where you're at, like the demographic. Like, I feel as though I watch certain things and listen to certain things, and it's men saying how this is actually what they're looking for or whatever, right? So it is men that actually are looking for like women who are healthy and want to form like, let's say, healthy relationships. Mm-hmm. But it is men out there for sure. Excuse me. Let's say, for example, the times where I was like clubbing, even a couple times when I go to the strip club, of course, in that scene, that is the last thing that men are thinking about. So that's why I'm like, all of that is still like, it just depends. It always is kind of like depends on the demographic. Definitely majority, definitely don't care about what's going on up here. They care about how you look, and you feel me? Like, I don't know.
So you think it stems from like we were saying, the media, music, movies, definitely. TV, they portray these things in our face all the time. They portray broken families and men being cheated on. I don't know if you ever seen the show Insecure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like in the beginning, like my man's was just not it. Yeah. My man's had to clean himself up.
Yeah.
I forgot his name. It's been so long since I watched that, but
Same.
he had to clean himself up.
I can't even think his name.
I know, and I just watched it like last year, because I think the finale was like last year.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm just saying, like, this is kind of a question. It's not the question, the next question, but it's like, I think we consume too much of that type of content.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Like, the thought that there are a lot of broken families out here is very true, but the thought that it's people out here that's trying to change that idea is true too. So I feel like the day that we look up and it's being portrayed more and more, that's how I'll be able to go from like this idea to this idea. But it's, the media is not only showing this with TV shows and this, that, and the other, but it's the majority of the media. So if I'm listening to something where they're like, let's build up kingdom marriages and kingdom men and women first. Like, let's get kingdom men and women to, if they choose, because of course you could be single if you want to, but then if you're single, don't be single but then being that person that's here, the side chick, because you're technically single for sure, because this man is married to somebody else. So it's like, don't be that person where it's like you're single but you're causing drama to other people's like relationships and stuff. So,
or don't be single and playing with somebody's feelings.
That too.
And messing them up. Yeah. And now that person is damaged. And then the next person they go to, they're going to damage them. And it's just a whole never-ending repetition of a cycle of brokenness.
Yeah, definitely. And hurt people hurting people. So it keep being, like you said, you hurt this person because you wasn't serious when you were talking to them. And then they go and hurt somebody else because they feeling some type of way from you hurting them. And then whoever they hurt, like, it's just going to be a whole bunch of people hurting people.
So what can we do to change the narrative? What do you think we could really do to change that? And I don't think it's just enough of being an example. Like, if you're in a relationship, I don't think that's just enough. I don't know what else you could really do. What else can we do to change it in the media? What else can we really, what can we do? It feels like there's nothing we can really do.
I I think so. I feel like the first step is like even having platforms like this where you actually have the conversation. Like it's a lot of people having a conversation about other things, the side chick chronicles and this, that, and the other, like those things. That's a topic from a TV show I was watching. So I don't know if that's a real podcast or anything, but it's just funny that it's just like they have those topics. So we need more people talking about, how, let's say, for example, like even if we don't know how to specifically make it better, let's talk about the things that's like the problems. So then if more people is like, oh yeah, that is a problem, that is a problem, that is a problem, then more people can start coming together, like trying to figure out solutions. Because I don't really know.
I feel you. Do you think toxic masculinity is a problem as well?
It's one of the problems. It's a lot of problems.
So with that, like a lot of people say they take those things of toxic masculinity and try to attach them to the Bible, saying like this is how biblical men are supposed to live. These are God-fearing men are supposed to live like this. Do you think that's true?
Can you give an example?
Can I give an example? No, I don't, because I don't have one on hand. Okay. If I could think of one, like they always say, like the husband is supposed to be the top dog in the household. Right. Do you agree with that?
I agree with it.
So you don't think like if you were to get in the career field where you made more money than your husband, you don't think that's a problem?
No, not at all.
So then we could cut that. That's cutting off some of toxic masculinity. If you made more than your husband, I think it's okay. But like in the hierarchy in the Bible, it says God, your husband, you the wife, and then your kids.
Right. But I feel like that's more so, again, this is stuff that like I've came across. I feel as though they made it seem like the money was the problem. But even when it comes to that order, the biggest thing is your character and your qualities. Like if we say like God represents these things, whether it's, kindness and, all of these different attributes, then that's something that you would want as like the head of the household. You would want them to act like that. So when it comes to toxic masculinity, like a lot of the times they, let's say, feel like since they are top dog, they aren't kind, like they aren't really loving, like they're kind of that can kind of be a whole nother topic, because that you can get deep into that for real. Like,
well, let's do it then.
That's why I'm like, we can definitely make that another topic. But I feel as though even to just kind of talk about it a little bit today, the biggest thing I would say is when it comes to that order, money doesn't really matter. It's about the mindset, because if he still has a mindset and a vision as the head, then the money should just be something that's like helping that vision come. But at least he has some type of vision. At least she not making all the money and you feel me, the man just not doing nothing. Like just sitting there like, okay, you had a good day at work? Good, okay. And that's just the same cycle. She just going making all the money. You can be making some money. I'm not saying that, the man not working, but it's just like, I don't know. That's just my opinion on it. It's more so about the mindset for real too. That vision for real.
Yeah, I can see that. A lot of men's mindsets aren't really centered. Well, I guess a lot of the world isn't centered with that hierarchy of God, man, woman, child, like that.
That's because they're missing God. That's the problem. If you really get into it, that's because a lot of people are so into being of the world right now, where like they're forgetting the principles that we are supposed to stand on as beings that were brought here to, be like, we were made in his image at the end of the day. So we should be trying to figure out more how we can be like him instead of being of the world, basically. We're comparing ourselves to this person and that person and these celebrities, because that's, honestly where a lot of comparison probably came from to start. Now, of course, you got influencers, which they influence how people think and what they do and all of this stuff. But before that, I feel like celebrities, even if they wasn't trying to, that's what people was more so trying to like compare themselves and look up to before God.
Okay. So since you said that, that kind of came up with this question. Can there be Christian influencers and Christian TikTokers? Not TikTokers. What's the word? Content creators. Just But like, where does it go? Like, we got these big, super mega pastors that are essentially influencers.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm like, most of the people who are by default because they are, running these mega churches where they already have following from all of the people that go to their church and that they connect to. Let's say, for example, Tasha Cobbs. So she is big because of being an artist, of course, a well-known artist. So yeah, she's not, of course, over. Actually, that's a whole nother topic. But I was about to say, I think she might be a first lady now. I think her husband is a pastor. I might be getting people mixed up though. But anyway, don't quote me on that. However, I feel as though naturally, when you got that blue check, that's kind of, you already are naturally an influencer without saying that you're an influencer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why I'm like, you kind of are, because, yeah, most of the time they give blue checks to people that are celebrity. Like, I forgot what's the blue check status, but you're you can influence people by the different things that you post and stuff naturally, even not meaning to. That's just me.
So then do the people, not say people, but like just regular people, do they, when they follow them, are they really getting to know God, or they really to know those people? Do they like those people more than they like the message?
And see, that's something that I was looking into in a different way. So at the end of the day, what I respect is those people who say, remember, my goal is to get you closer to God. So don't look up to me. You can respect me as a person and have high respect for me as far as like what I do, but always remember that what I'm doing is glorifying God at the end of the day. So make sure that through me, you're getting closer to him. Like, if a person got that title and then they're making everything about them, and somehow it go from, especially let's say, for example, they're not a pastor, they're just somebody who has high influence, from like your original question being like a TikToker or social media influencer, whatever, you can be any social media, and let's say you're a Christian, like if you're making things about you, then at that point you're just being a regular influencer. Like, you can't put the Christian part in front of it. But if as a Christian influencer, you're always talking about, of course, it might not be in every post. Let's say you post something that's about you being a great man and a great husband and this, that, and the other, and it's a picture of you and your wife and your family. Like, that's different. But then when you post something else, if you're actually making sure you're finding a way to connect people to Christ and God, then that's the purpose of your platform, I feel like. And some celebrities, they don't talk about God at all. So yeah, you wouldn't know if this person or that person, a music artist, is actually somebody who believes in God unless they take the time to say that in one post out of their 500.
Right. So then what about the people, like if those influencers, they get out of that. They get so caught up in the glory of, oh, I got all these people looking at me, and they get away from the whole message. Now you're misleading all these people away from the whole point.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pastors that have done that now.
Really? You putting me here. We're gonna have to talk about this off camera.
No, but like a lot.
Yet.
I don't want to say nobody's name.
Yeah, I be trying not to name drop.
But like it's a lot of them. A lot of these mega pastors that aren't really there for the message anymore. It's just about the money.
Yeah, and that's a problem. I hate stuff like that. Like, I feel like people, but that's because they're human. I'm not making an excuse for them, but it's just like I would hope that while they're slowly drifting away from God and caring more so about how the world feels and are basically getting more and more of the world, then hopefully they turn around and realize, hold up, I'm slipping. Like, let me get back close to God, because that's how I even got, let's say, my startup anyway. If you're saying like these people, whoever you're, thinking about, actually started based off their relationship with God and then fell off, like hopefully they can just turn around and have to remember, like, no, I'm only doing this because God gave me this platform and this, that, and the other. That's all I can hope for them, and pray that they do. Otherwise, I'm going to have to unfollow, because at this point, you just talking about yourself all the time. I don't need to hear somebody, like, I stopped following people like that. That's why I was really big on when I made a new Instagram recently. I'm like, it's only certain people I want to follow.
What's the Instagram?
I'm like, my new Instagram is 10-22. So it's
10, like the number 10?
No, it's written out 10. So
10,
the number 2.
So you wrote out 10.
10. I put the number 2.
The number 2.
I read out.
We drinking this. I thought it was gonna be quick, like a quick little shout out. We could put in the bottom of the screen.
It is
10 TN 2
20 written out, and then the number 2.
Why not your name?
We're not gonna. We're not gonna talk about it. Actually, we could talk about it. 10/2/22 is the day I was baptized.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay,
that's why I'm like, we're not gonna talk about it as I low key might change the name, because I want it to be kind of like simple. But when I made my new Instagram, I couldn't think of anything, and my name like spelled out, it like looks weird as an @ name. I didn't like it. Maybe it just looked weird to me. So that's why I'm like,
you're just weird. You could have done
maybe.
Like I said, we got away from the main point. Right. I just wanted a quick little follow her on Instagram. No.
Yeah, no, it's a complicated name, but it's a very special meaning.
Well, that's good. I still like it though.
Yeah.
If you change, I still be like, oh, Kourtney changed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I didn't even know. I didn't know you had that. Now I gotta follow that.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm like, I'm pretty sure you was following my old one, which was Vibing with KoKo.
So why did you get rid of that one?
I got rid of that one mainly, if I'm being honest, I had the Instagram for so long. I was following like 1,000 people, and I'm in my head like, if I could like dial it back, I would only be following like maybe 300. Like. You
didn't want to take the time to go in and do that? I
started to, and it was just so much work. Like, I got down to following closer to like 1,100 people, to like, I was in like the 9s, I think, or the 8s maybe. That's why I'm like, and that took me months to do.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I'm like, I'm about to just delete this Instagram and make a new one. And this is probably like my 3rd time making a new Instagram. Like, I keep making, and when I say keep making them, this is the last one, because I'm not about to make another Instagram. So, but I might try to get my name back, because I want Vibing with KoKo back. But when I deactivated it, it wouldn't let me steal the name yet, because I remember even when I deactivated it, they were like, you have until this day to log like back days, in. Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I couldn't take Vibing with KoKo for my new Instagram page yet. Now I might be able to. I might have.
You can't put like an underscore like somewhere in there, and they just.
I don't like underscores.
Dang, my name got an underscore in it.
Oh, underscores is so weird to me.
Mine is Big L _ speaks.
Oh.
I like that because like I don't have to have no weird numbers in there.
Well, why can't you just do Big Al Speak? Somebody already have that?
Probably.
I would try to go and see if you can get it. I don't like underscores.
Okay. Wow, we learned something today. She don't like underscores. Okay. We had strayed away from the whole main point. Like. I told you. I thought it was gonna be a quick little, like I did the YouTube. Plug the YouTube in real quick.
Yeah, it's okay. Probably nobody gonna follow me anyway.
No, we gonna get the people to look.
That's why
because when I post these everywhere. Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Reels. YouTube is on Spotify, Apple. I don't know any other podcasting platforms though.
Yeah,
I think Google has one.
I think they do.
Yeah, Google has one.
Yeah.
That's it. But mainly people use Spotify.
Yeah.
You use Spotify?
I used to use Apple before.
I'll use Apple now.
Yeah, but then I stopped paying for it. So I have to start using Spotify. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't paying that $9.99.
I feel that. Yeah. But now we got this new Verizon plan and they pay for it for me.
Really?
Well, not really pay for it for me. They put it in the
phone
it's like
plan. In your bill.
Yeah. So it's like you don't really see it.
But it's still
in there, but you don't. It's not like when Apple emails you and they be like, yeah, $10.99.
Yeah. So
or no, now it's $10.99.
Really?
Yes, they had to up it. They added this karaoke feature to it now.
All right.
Spotify got to get hip with that.
That's what I'm like. I need to get hip, I guess.
All right. Where we at? Okay, we got 3 minutes. We can do one more thing, and then we'll go on to the next.
How about I say maybe
next segment.
I talk a lot, y'all.
You know what? And that's okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
I talk a lot. I be rambling.
I be rambling too. That's why whenever I do solo stuff, I be like, no, hold on, 45 minutes. Come on now.
That's it. That's the stop. That's the line. That's why I'm like, are we gonna be able to? Let's see what the question is. See if we can really get it in 3 minutes. I think we might be pushing it.
We're gonna be pushing it. This next one, I will want to talk a lot about because I don't think I had talked about this one.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back. And we're back again.
We're back.
This is a question I've been having. Oh my gosh.
That's my news ways.
This is a question I've been having for a long time. Is creativity dying?
No, but it's getting basic to me.
I think it's almost dead.
I don't think about,
but like think about like how many remakes and like how many Hollywood remakes we have all the time. It's like so many superhero movies now. We get a new reincarnation of something every year. You know they did a Clifford movie.
I think so.
Last
you
year.
Talking about the Big Red or something? Yeah, that was corny for sure. I didn't even watch it, but I don't like stuff like that. Like let the original be the original.
And then like it's like you saying stuff is becoming basic now.
Yeah,
a lot of music is becoming basic now, and it's really hard that you got to really try to find and search for something new, some new person out there. Yeah. And then to me, this is just me, but like in the Christian world, our stuff is corny. Our movies are corny.
Yeah. I feel like
the only thing that's not really corny is the music. And even that to a point, sometimes like remember the Hillsong era where like everything sounded like that?
Definitely.
I don't know.
But everybody is starting to do like more rap and stuff now. I love it.
But like they were always doing it, but like it's become mainstream.
I was about to say it's definitely mainstream because you're right. Like my people actually would do rap. Like my aunt, my uncle, like a lot of their people. My auntie had an album with everything, so I gotta remember that. Like that's when CDs and stuff was popular. So now, that's why I'm like,
what's that? 05?
That's all. Like, hold on, wait. It was a minute ago. That's how I'm like, dang, my auntie not that old, but she was probably doing it for sure when she was in like high school though. So yeah. That's why I'm like, I definitely, like, I still probably have her, not probably, I'm sure I have her CD somewhere. But now that they can use social media to promote their music, I feel like that's the reason why it's starting to be, like, more mainstream now, for sure.
Because I see it a lot on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's funny how my algorithm is. My algorithm is weird. It's like, it'll come in waves. Like, I might see something like that, or I see some funny video, or I see a serious video talking about, oh, we need to do this better in America. Then it's like somebody doing something stupid. It's weird.
That's
but what I mean, well, going back to the thing with the creativity in like in the Christian space, a lot of our movies are just not good. It's either, and I saw this like ad or something on Instagram where this dude was low key talking about it. He was like, it's either like really like, and of course, if you want to do something from the Bible, you want it to be as accurate as possible, but it can, depending on what story you're trying to tell, it can't be too boring. Yeah. And I never want to call the Bible boring, but like some stories might be boring and too cut and dry. That's why like with most adaptations from books to movies, they add certain things so the flow could be better viewing wise, rather when you're reading you could just picture it. Yeah. But like, or like they get too away from the message. Like, I don't know, you remember a couple years ago when they did a movie about Noah.
I missed that. I do remember that, but that's how you know, like, I didn't watch that. That's why I'm over here thinking.
It was like, it got away from the point, and it was kind of too worldly. So I want to see, like, maybe I got to be want to do it, but to get a cool, like, anyone can come see this, and it's like, you get the message, and you still be like, that was a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm like, probably you should do it. Have you thought about producing?
All the time. My dream job was to be a film director.
Really? That's why I'm like, yeah, because I feel as though they're, what is it called when you like, they're promoting and stuff isn't the best. That I didn't even see that.
Oh, no, not at all.
That's why I'm like, I didn't even see that. I remember hearing about it vaguely, but
it was a couple years ago. I think it was like 20. I think I could look it up real quick. It was like 2017, something around that time. And I didn't go see it, but like I saw like a bits of it. And I'm like, that's not what happened.
Yeah. So I feel as though, to kind of chime in on that, it all depends on how the story really is. And when you're like comparing it to like the Bible, that's different because, like you said, then you got to kind of stay on the message, but try your best to, because God don't want us adding in and taking away different things and making up stories and stuff when it comes to the Bible. But I feel as though if you can kind of do like a Christian like themed production, then that's different, you know, where it's like showing somebody getting saved and stuff like that. And I mean, of course it would have like different like foundations to it, but when it comes to actually trying to tell stories in the Bible, you really gotta pick the right story. I feel like with that, that's all that is. That's why I'm like, now I want to go and watch that one. When did that come out?
So it actually came out 2014.
Wow, that's how long ago that came out?
Yeah, it's crazy. And it says it was inspired by the biblical story of Noah's Ark from the book of Genesis. Inspired. See, it's not.
Inspired. Okay. Not really. I don't know. That's why I'm like, I feel as though it takes the right people, because that makes you wonder, like, okay, who was a part of the team, and was it really about let's do this because it's a cool idea to make into a movie, but it's just like, it's not just a cool idea, it's actually a real thing to us believers. So we would want it to be as real as possible in
and
relation
not corny.
To the book.
They're always
not
corny.
That's why I'm like, make it exciting.
But look, they have some like, I don't know, A-list, B-list actors. They had Russell Crowe. I don't know if you're familiar with that dude.
I'm just bad with names. I'm terrible with names.
It's okay. They had Emma Watson.
Okay.
Anthony Hopkins. I mean, he an older guy. He been in some you know, forget it. Just forget it. But the overall point is like, you know, you ain't heard of this movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. And it came out in 2014. I really feel like I remember. Now, that's how fast time is flying by, because I really feel like that came out in like 2018. Like, in my head, I'm like, I don't know.
No, I feel that the last like almost 3 years.
That's why I'm like.
People, and I see people always talking about like, oh yeah, back in the pandemic when we did this. I'm like, bro, that was a blur.
Like,
I don't remember that. I remember I just went to work and came home.
I'd say I was working from home, so my whole life was like waking up from my bed.
What kind of job you had working from home?
I was a Quicken slave.
What? A what? What?
I was a
what?
Everybody who has worked for Quicken know, like, it's slave.
Quicken Loans?
Yes.
That caught me so off guard. Okay, you gotta.
So basically,
let's segue from that. So let me wrap it up first. So overall, we got to get better at making media that's entertaining, quotation marks, but still getting the message along. And I think the real idea.
Definitely.
And it's not like every movie got to be like, we got to get you saved. We got to get you saved. It's at least planting the seed in your head that's like planting the idea of like you can consider like, okay, maybe this is like the right thing to do.
Right.
But no, we got to quicken slaves.
I was like, I'm still chuckling at that in my head. I'm sorry. But that's how it felt. I was working 70 hours.
A week?
Yes.
At the computer?
Yes.
Doing what? So first off, explain what they are to me because I really don't even know. It's just like a loan agency?
Yeah. So what I did, I was an auditor. So I was like reviewing all of the paperwork that people who actually was in the process of about to buy a home, like I would go through all of the stuff and make sure that everything is correct before it got sent off. And then at that point, like I was like basically like the person that was putting that stamp on it before one last team. But like I was the like official stamp team. Like if stuff like, for example, if I happen to have missed something, I'm getting in trouble. Like I'm getting docked for it. Like the person that came before me, because it is technically people who do glance at it before me, they don't get in trouble. So yeah, they get in trouble if I noticed that something was missing before sending it off, if that makes sense. But once I send it off, it's over. Like, so it's kind of like, yeah. And the people after me, like, because they like those is the people that's like, all right, your loan, like they're actually emailing these people saying like, everything is great. You'll be getting like your money soon. Like, so that's why like we're like the most important because we were the final audit. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what it was. And I mean,
how did you get into that? How do you get into that job? You just apply?
Yeah, I applied through a temp agency.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I wasn't actually hired in through Quicken, but I still got a majority of the perks that people get for working with Quicken. But the only thing is, just like the people who work through the temp and the regular people, when they said overtime, we was all in there overtime. Like they didn't not care, and they probably of course got overtime pay, which would be a little nicer, but we just got regular like our base pay, like our temp agency pay, working 70 hours a week.
So like you would still get paid like your base out, like your base is right here, and then you work 70 hours, you make that money from that. But like regular people, they make more
because most jobs after you hit 40 hours it's overtime. So I don't know for sure because it ain't like I was asking them like, hey, what was your paycheck looking like? But I'm assuming.
Man, I do.
Listen,
I ask everybody. No, what's up with that?
That's all. Like I didn't even ask, but I'm just assuming that after the 40 hours, when they did overtime, like, cause I know when I worked overtime at previous jobs, like I got like time and a half. So like I'm assuming that they got time and a half with their overtime. So they got 40 hours of regular pay, but they got 30 hours, you feel me, of overtime pay. I'm jealous. But it's okay. It was what it was when it was.
No, cause I don't believe in that. Oh no, you're not supposed to talk about your pay. No,
that's
how much are you making now? I remember the job I'm at right now. I remember when I was on the morning shift. We all sat around because it got slow.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was like, how much do you make an hour? Because I just started like a month in. And I'm telling them like, well, I didn't make that much when I came in. And then we all get to like, they're on some bull. Like they're always on bull. But like, No, I don't believe in that. How much was your check?
Yeah.
Especially if you're all working the same hours,
Mm-hmm.
like even like at the same time.
Yeah, doing the same thing.
Doing the same thing. Like if they give you more than me, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Or if they cut you and they gave me more, that's a problem.
Yeah. No.
So what I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's true.
What made you say, nah, this ain't it no more?
Oh, they fired me.
Dang. I'm sorry, Kourtney.
Okay. It's okay.
What, you feel comfortable saying what happened?
Yeah, basically, with that type of job, you have a quota, basically. That's why, like we say, it's, that's why we call it slavery. Mainly we call it slavery because of the hours, and it was mandatory. Like, unless almost like you were like heading to the hospital or something, like you had to work. Like, what do you mean? So it was mandatory that I had to work. And let's say, for example, you start slipping, they usually give you like warnings and stuff like that, but I don't think they gave me any. I feel as though the way they did it was dirty, and I mean, that's just me. I would highly not recommend. Definitely give it a 4 out of 10. And I give it a 4 only because of the fact I do like the fact that I can work from home. And then when I was in the office, I do like all the snacks. Yeah.
Okay. So like you be like you about to clock off, and then they be like, psych, 3 more hours.
Yeah, most of the time they would tell us like halfway throughout the day. So
That's
we would know, and it would be even more annoying because it's just like it's 1 o'clock and you in your head like 4 more hours, and then it turned into 6 more hours, or you feel me, 7 more hours, just depending. Because that's why I'm like, for the most part, from a regular 8-hour day, you could look up and be doing up to 12. Like I would rarely work past like 12 hours a day, but it's just still the principle. Like, dang, like I really did think at one, you would look up one saying 4 more hours and look up and you got 8 more hours. Yeah, that would happen sometimes. So that's why I'm like, for the most part, they would kind of give us a heads up, and depending on like what we call like the way our system, we can see how many files we got in the system, like for everybody to do. So it's like depending on that, they would tell us ahead of time, like, hey, y'all working overtime this whole week, so be prepared.
Dang.
Yeah. So,
well, glad you're not there no more.
Yeah. Bless the Lord. It was fun while it lasted, though. Money, working all of that time was nice, but.
So what was the money worth it up until?
It was decent, I will say.
What is decent?
Decent is in 2020 when there was nothing going on, so you ain't have nothing to spend your money on anyway. Like you making.
Oh, I was still spending money.
Which was.
Oh man, like the unemployment checks.
Oh yeah, see, I didn't get none of those.
Oh man, I was unemployed for like 3 months.
Must be nice.
It was crazy, and
because I know those was coming in nice, and they was giving y'all extra. I heard. Like the extra,
yeah. and it's crazy. Like they called me, like my job had called me, like, yeah, we actually need people. I should have been like, no, I shouldn't have picked up that call.
Yeah, you should have picked up the call.
I shouldn't have picked up that call.
You should have just kept getting that money.
What I am mad about though, like I don't think I took advantage of the pandemic like I should have.
Yeah.
Like I always thought about doing this podcast like at the end of 2019. Like, cause I have notes written down, like I want to start a podcast and stuff, and I finally did it April of 2021.
Okay.
And I'm like, dang, I could have used that unemployment money to get all this. This is not cheap, dog.
Yeah, no, I congratulate you. Clap it up to Big Al Speaks. Clap it up, because this is great. This is a great production.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Definitely.
This sound goes on for like 15 more seconds. I gotta find a shorter one.
Clap.
Yeah, I don't really get to use these like that. There's nothing been going on for real. Oh, I could have used that one earlier.
Yeah, to introduce me.
See, that's the thing. I'm thinking about it at the time. I'll be just rolling.
Yeah, now you know.
Maybe I can add them in post.
That's when you can play with it a little bit. But yeah, this is nice. I really appreciate you having me on. I mean, before it ends, I did mention, I'm like, I'm going to give a little couple single mama tips.
All right.
Not even like tips, but like things that I learned.
This is the part I'm gonna cut, and this is gonna be the promo section.
Yeah.
This is one promo section.
Is that like real promo? Because we were talking about a lot of different things.
No, oh yeah, I'm gonna chop like different parts
but
up.
this is gonna be one of the parts.
Because I feel like a lot of people would like appreciate these tips.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm gonna chop up like parts of conversations and leave them on cliffhangers. Like, hey, you gotta click in to listen to this one.
Yeah, this is the one. But no, I don't know if it came up in. Well, it kind of actually came up in conversation, a couple of these things, but I had wrote down a couple of things where I'm like, as a single mama, like even when I answer some of your questions, I'm like, yeah, I had to make sure I didn't compare and stuff like that. Like that's what I used to do, especially in the past, in the beginning. I used to like compare myself a lot. I would say to other moms.
How many tips you got?
I have like 2.
2?
Yeah.
2?
You know.
These are Kourtney's 2 single mother tips.
No.
What's number 1? No comparing. Comparing to who?
Like, I used to watch a lot of YouTube. That's why I'm like, I really was on YouTube a lot. So, like, 2020, I followed, like, a lot of YouTubers and stuff. So, like, I seen what they did with their kids. And, honestly, these is people that, like, make money off of YouTube. So, they, like, doing, like, and getting crazy things. Like, just doing a whole bunch of stuff where I'm like, I want that for my baby, too. And then if I couldn't get it, I'm like, dang, I don't have this for my baby. Or I'm, like, spending a lot of money to get it just to realize, like,
you don't need it.
Yeah, like, but they just buying expensive stuff because they can.
Mm-hmm.
So that was definitely something where I'm like, yeah, no, I don't like that. I used to do that, reflecting on it. I'm like, I definitely don't do that anymore, but that's why I don't be on social media for real. I mean, that's not one of the reasons why when it comes to giving that advice, but just as far as like comparison being a thief of all joy for real. So it's just like, it's easy to like compare when you scrolling on social media and seeing this person and that person like this. But yeah.
All right, that's number 1. No comparing to other mothers who got it, quote unquote, got it all together.
Yeah. And then I feel like the biggest thing, that's how I used to feel. And like now I feel as though making sure that you are secure in yourself. And me personally, I had to really not comparing anymore, getting closer to God. That allowed me to walk in a space where I wasn't actually like depressed, because I did go through prenatal depression and postpartum depression. And I feel like putting a title on it, like that can make you basically stick with it. Mm-hmm. Like once you put that title on it, then it's just like, dang, why I feel this way. Oh, I'm just depressed. Oh, I'm just going through postpartum depression. But like some people don't go through that. So like, and some people go through it for years. And I'm like so grateful that 2 years out, you know, a little bit more than 2. And I'm like, dang, like I'm so glad that I'm not in a state of being depressed.
Would you like to talk a little bit more about that and how you got out of that?
Yeah, I feel as though for the prenatal depression.
What is prenatal depression? Yeah. Explain that to me, because I've honestly never heard of that till right now.
Really? So prenatal depression is like the so it's like before you have your baby, and then postpartum.
Like while they're
while they're in the womb. And it's just like a lot of mothers can go through that because of the hormone imbalance, really. But then I feel like a lot of people go through it more so in this day and age because of comparing. Like you seeing how this mommy is looking like, and let's say dressing up and going out. And of course, in my case, it was 2020. So nobody was really going out for real. But it's just like, I was going through the whole aspect of, dang, like I'm bringing my child into a single family household where like I have to make sure. So I was putting so much pressure on myself. That's why I went through prenatal depression. That's why I'm like, it's a lot of different reasons why people can go through it. But I definitely feel as though I didn't get through it. Like I didn't get through the prenatal depression. Like I was sadly depressed like most of my pregnancy. And I would post pictures and stuff like I was happy, but I wasn't. And then I went, had my baby, and then I went through postpartum depression. So that was tough. Like I remember I breastfed. I remember like feeling bad because I'm like, dang, like I know my baby feel my energy, like they feel your energy and everything they in the womb.
Really?
Yeah, like we give.
So like if you're sad, your baby sad.
Basically.
That's crazy. That's really crazy.
Yeah, no, but like, of course you don't really.
Of course you don't. Right, you don't know.
But it's just like that's how you feel, and then like it's like a thing where they say sometimes when the baby is born and like a little bit down the line, like your baby is like acting a certain way because of the energy that you was given during your pregnancy, and then of course if you were given off a certain energy afterwards with that postpartum depression, like that's the reason why. I remember I used to think like my child is gonna be sad because I'm sad. But my child is the happiest baby ever. Like everybody has been saying that since she was a baby. Like it was like she's so happy. Like so, I thought though, I'm like I remember I used to be. I was sad and I would beat myself up and feel even more sad because I used to be sad. If that makes sense. I'm like, dang, like I'm mad at myself for being sad and being sad is going to affect my baby. Like I used to have to like, go through different things. I was in therapy for like 3 sessions. I wasn't in therapy for real. I will say I can't be one of those people that's like, oh, therapy helps. I didn't really do therapy like I probably should have. I feel like what helped me for real is getting closer to God, because honestly, I used to like try to find comfort in like things and people, and it's like none of that is really gonna like give me consistent like comfort.
It's not gonna feel what like you're missing.
Yeah, like not even comfort, but like feel that void. So I feel as though like when I got closer to God for real and like stop beating myself up and being like, okay, the way that you felt, it was okay, but now what are you gonna do? Like, how are you going to get through it now? Like, what's your next steps? Like, once I started to really tell, and like people around me, I will say God sent people to like say that to me. Like, I remember I was crying one time dropping off my daughter to daycare, and my babysitter was like, what is you crying for? And like, you need people like that sometimes. Yeah. It's like, what is the problem? Like, no, like you good, you gonna get it together, like you gonna figure it out. Like, and she would say like, God got you, like would pray for me multiple times. So like sometimes I will say when you don't even ask for it, God gonna send the right people. Like don't go seeking for people or things to fill those voids. You gotta make sure that you allow God to do that for you. So that really helped me for real.
All right. Well, closing up here, I know you already gave 2 tips out. Mm-hmm. Crazy, only 2, not 3, but 2.
Yeah, I mean, do you sum it up.
Do you have any more words of advice for single mothers out there right now?
My word of advice would be focus on yourself. People used to say that to me all the time, but I'm actually understanding and applying that saying of like focus on yourself, as far as like don't feel bad that you're doing this, that, and the other to better yourself. And let's say, for example, you are not being that person for other people. Like I felt as though because I was a single mama, I had to be that person that always looked out and reached out to my other single mama friends. But it's just like, I have to make sure I'm whole first.
Right.
Like I can't be half and trying to give out to people. Like one of the things that I was learning in therapy, I actually did, like I didn't do like a real therapy session, but I did like a group therapy session through somebody in my church. Shout out to Angela Burgess. And I feel as though that helped me. And like we will always talk about your cup. So like I can't pour to people when my cup is like this much in my cup. Like I need to make sure my cup is full, or at least, a certain amount to be able to even give back to other people. So like putting things into myself, inspiring myself before trying to go out here and inspire other people. Like, that's first and foremost. Stuff is going to come up, but make sure you not at your lowest still trying to pour out. Like, no, once you get to that point, find a way to, that self-care, that's where all of that come, like, a big important role in, like, just being happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, I hope so. That was great. I hope so. That's all. Like, definitely joy, depression, all of that stuff. Don't claim that. Claim joy, claim peace, claim happiness. You deserve all of that. So don't let yourself, other people make you feel like you don't.
That was beautiful, Kourtney. That was beautiful. Well, I thank you for joining me today on this very special episode. I don't know if this is going to be season 2, episode 1. Because the last one I named that one season 2, episode 1. But I feel like that should be just a loosey.
Just that should be a fun little thing.
Yeah, just a fun little. Yeah. You know, we in the serious bag now.
Right. Yeah, we in the bag. Thank you for having me. I look forward to being on here talking about some other stuff with you. You know,
we have a reoccurring guest or a co-host.
You know, we gonna see. We gonna see for sure. I'm excited. Thank you for sure for allowing me to come and talk. You know, with you.
All right,
with the people.
Thank you for tuning in. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify, please consider subscribing, give it a rate of 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment your favorite part, what you agree, disagree with. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.